I'm Simon Morlat. So I'm going to talk about conferencing. So XCON and CCMP protocol, which is a technological piece, an open standard actually, that we promote for our video conferencing service. So that's the button to how to switch. Oh, okay, sorry. So just a few words of introduction. So it's me. I'm original author of the Linphone software, which is an open source SIP client. So SIP is the protocol for voice and video telephony over internet. And co-founder of Belledonne Communication, which is a company I later created to promote the project. So here's a bit of history of the project. So at the beginning, it was a spare time activity. I started in 2001, so a long time ago. And about 10 years after, I created a company to fully work on the Linphone project. So the company grew rapidly at the beginning of the 2010s thanks to smartphones, which is actually a very good device to make internet calls. We later extend our product portfolio by launching server products that we call Flexisip. On 2018, we added group chat feature, still based on SIP protocol, with an end-to-end encryption protocol. And then later on, added post-quantum, I mean, end-to-end encryption robust to quantum computers attacks. And we started with an audio and video conference service in 2022, still based over SIP protocol. And nowadays, we are working hard in releasing a 6.0 version of the Linphone software with brand new interface. So here's the plan. I'm going to explain the basics about what is XCON and CCMP protocol, what are its features and benefits. And lastly, I will say you a few words about how we integrate it in our products. So, understanding CCMP. So all these are IETF initiative. Anybody, every one of you knows what is IETF? Not sure for everyone. IETF is the informal organization that actually created all the standards for the internet. I would say all, maybe 99%. I don't know exactly. DNS, email, IPv4, IPv6, HTTP, TLS, almost everything that we use every day with internet was drafted and standardized at IETF. So in the early 2010, some people think about what could be an ideal centralized conferencing service with voice, audio, video, and chat. And they wrote an RFC that they called XCON that describes such a framework for an ideal centralized video conferencing with prerequisite on, let's say, prerequisite. And they later proposed a protocol that they called Centralized Conferencing Manipulation Protocol, which is a technology agnostic protocol to control conferencing service. So this protocol is based on an XML data model to represent what a conference object can be, which is another RFC. So this big picture is for you to understand what the scope of CCMP is. So actually, everyone has already participated to a voice or video conference, maybe as an organizer. So the first step is usually that you schedule the conference on maybe on a website, on an agenda, on a collaborative workspace, on an XMPP client, on a softphone application. You choose invitees for your conference, and then you press an enter button, and then something happens that creates the conference on the conferencing service. And then the second step is when you participate to the conference, and then there are other protocols that will allow you to join with voice and video. So it can be SIP, it can be other legacy PSTN protocols, a proprietary signaling protocol using WebRTC running inside the web browser, an XMPP client. So basically we have multiple ways to schedule a conference and multiple type of access method for the conferencing service. Such conferencing service may offer multiple of them, or maybe one or few of them. So the main characteristic of this CCMP protocol is, so it's XML based. We are in the 2010, carried over HTTPS with a REST semantic. And one of its main interest is that it is a technology agnostic in terms of conferencing access method. So what are the features and benefits? Basically, what you can do with CCMP is create a conference on a conferencing service. So you specify user, invitees, date, time, duration, repetition. You specify an admission policy, for example, whether the organizer has to manually approve entry for people that join to the conference. There are actually many of parameters that are made possible by this protocol. And one specificity is that they thought about somewhat unusual conferencing feature that they call sidebar conference. So a sidebar conference, let's imagine you have a main conference with maybe 50 people, and then you want to create a second conference with a small set of people that can listen what is being discussed in the main conference, but they want to comment what is being discussed in the main conference. So what is being heard in the sidebar conference, of course, doesn't go in the main conference. So CCMP protocol propose semantics to realize such feature. And then, of course, you can retrieve as an organizer or as a user the list of all scheduled conference you are part of. So, as I said, the abstraction of conferencing technology is an essential feature of CCMP. So there can be several access protocols for the conference, like SIP, which is the one we use in Linphone, but others, XMPP, a signaling protocol custom-made associated with WebRTC. Just to give you a bit of background, we often compare SIP and WebRTC. Actually, that's quite different things. WebRTC is a W3C API and technology to basically send audio and video through the internet to one IP address to another IP address, but it doesn't care about when and where to send this video stream. That's the role of the signaling protocol. A user may use one or some of them at its convenience. So, their proposed solution relies on two new URI chains, one to refer to a conference object. This conference object URI is technology agnostic. I mean that people that later join to the conference object by either using a SIP URI, a phone number, or an HTTPS link. And we have a XCON user ID chain to refer to a user, and a user can have multiple communication accounts for SIP, XMPP, phone number. So, of course, doing this implies that there is a database to map users and their respective communication accounts. So we can imagine, for example, in a company, LDAP or CARDAV software to perform this task. So what are the benefits of using CCMP? So nowadays there are multiple, and I would say numerous, conferencing audio-video conferencing services using different technologies. CCMP is the bridge between, on one hand, software where you may need to create a conference, to schedule a conference, to invite people to join a conference, and on the other side, the conferencing systems that may use different kind of technologies. So thanks to this standardization effort, we can have a world where actually software and conferencing service can speak the same language. So it's a standardization of the interface with conferencing system with many benefits. Generic integration with collaboration tools, websites, or phone. And of course, reduced effort. I mean that you don't have to, as a client software, to support the various kind of APIs to create a conference for the different vendors of conferencing services. So, I know you are very curious to know how it looks like. So, it's XML, so it's very verbose. Sorry for this. I actually removed a lot of information from this basic conference creation request. So there are a lot of namespace things as usual with XML. The important thing is in red. Here we have a user, alice@example.com, that requests a create operation within a CCMP conference request. And the server replies. Again, the response can be very long because the server can actually list many of the behaviors and parameters of the created conference. The important information is in red. So basically, the server in the response indicates that the create operation was successful with a 200 OK response. The XCON URI for the conference object is abcdefg@example.com. And then within a conf_URIs tag, XML tag, the server can provide the access point to later join the conference. So here I just put one, which is the SIPS, SIP Secure URI that you can use if you have a SIP client. You click on this and then you enter the conference. So as I said, this response is actually very lightweighted compared to what the protocol and data model allows to express. So how we use it practically in our product. So the Linphone application is actually talking with our Flexisip-based servers for the conferencing service. So we added a CCMP endpoint on our Flexisip products portfolio that directly wrote conference information in a database, and this database, SQL database, is actually read by the conference server, who, when it receives the connection attempts, knows what to do with the participants. Also, I want to mention that we have been selected in a consortium called the Hexagon project, which is a France 2030 project sponsored by the government to create a collaborative suite, including mail, agenda, collaborative workplace, and documentation, and of course voice and video code and conference. So in the scope of the project, we had to offer an interface for all these third-party tools to interface with our conferencing system, and that was the trigger for us to make the choice of CCMP. And that's the reason that today I want to highlight this protocol that is now more than 10 years old, but still absolutely current for the current technologies we use nowadays. So in the Linphone application, basically just give you some screenshots of the conference creation view. So I would say very classical. And the second screenshot is the view where you can see the list of conference you are part of, either as an organizer or as a participant. So everything will be CCMP powered in the 6.0 upcoming version, which is planned for possibly end of June, July. We'll see. So before finishing, I just want to point you some additional resources in case you are interested in digging more and learning more about these protocols. These are the RFCs from IETF organization for all this protocol, and our website, linphone.org. Thank you very much. Do you have any question?
Thank you, Simon.